keep wanting me to pile on more on this Debbie Grayson person for putting everybody in danger. I'm just telling you, you guys keep coming back with how she's supposed to know, how she's supposed to know, like every other human. I don't know if you guys realize this, but society requires all of us to be mindful of dangers to the community, right? If you're married to someone or someone's in your family is a danger to the rest of the community, we ask that you say something about it. It's very important to remain to containing or to keeping a community cohesive. That we all have to feel safe in our communities. It's the first thing. Now, you want to see why? Now, people talked about how she's supposed to know. These are all the reasons. These don't even come from comic book. This is regular life. Danger often becomes visible first in private circles. So you see it first. The people who live in your house see your behavior first. Society relies on you to see what other people. I don't live with Omni-Man. I don't know what he's like first thing in the morning. I don't know if he wakes up saying, man, I'm going to kill somebody today. I don't know if he goes to sleep and has dreams about killing people in his sleep. I have no idea what his nightmares are. You do. You know what his nightmares are. The people closest to someone have the greatest access, and that access can save lives if you're vigilant. And that's all we're asking you to do. You have daily access to them, so you can see all their patterns. You can observe their behavior over time, so you can witness how they act when no one else is watching. That's extremely important in this. You know their private behavior, because the worst behaviors often happen behind closed doors. You can measure their inconsistencies, so you know it's gaps between their image and what their actions are. And you can see all the pieces to the puzzle. You see all the stuff that no one else sees. That's what we require from you, the ones who are in intimate relationships with people, right? My wife would know if I was stockpiling guns right now. She would know that, okay? When I was living at home, my mother would know anything that I was. I couldn't get away with any goddamn thing in the entire neighborhood because somehow she always knew. Because she was a parent and she was responsible for my behavior the same way my spouse is kind of responsible for what I do in terms of harming people. If it's just calling the police on me, I would expect my wife to do that instead of saying I watched them build a pipe bomb in the garage and then take it to school. Okay, and for a little context, I went to a school that had a terrorist attack that was a bombing at my school. Okay, I'll talk about that later. But these are signs that you can't ignore. Cruelty to animals or vulnerable people. I can't believe that a Viltrumite in his everyday life didn't show cruelty to vulnerable people. They're Viltrumites, okay? He had obsession behaviors, if it's violence, rage, or even threatening jokes, controlling behavior, sexual boundaries, violations or deviancy, chronic lying or hidden double lives, enjoyment of domination or other suffering, escalation of confrontation. These things are red flags. These things are red flags. Now I'm going to show you the real world examples and why this stuff actually matters. Since you think Debbie's such a great person. BTK. Bind, torture, kill. Dennis Rader. Some of you guys might be too young to remember this guy. He's one of the most notorious serial killers in this country. His family had seen things. They lived with his crazy behavior. He still harmed a bunch of people because they didn't go and say something about it. People at his church say later they saw signs of his controlling, of his rage, of his obsession. They saw those things, right? The guy at the hardware store didn't say, man, you're buying a lot of rope and duct tape, right? That's what it requires. That's what protecting your community actually requires, okay? Jeffrey Dahmer is another one. His neighbors, his friends, and his families all saw warning signs. Some people missed it, but there were a lot of signs that if anyone had actually paid attention to him, man, we could have saved a lot of lives. That's the important part that you're missing. The opportunity and the responsibility of saving innocent lives seems to just completely be missing, you guys. Completely missing. And all we asked was that she be vigilant. That's asked, right? Now, he presented as a loving father, but he was a threat to endless lives. He was a threat to this planetary body. So the truth of who he was right there the whole time. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to pretend to be somebody else. It's very difficult to do that for 24 hours, every second of every day, for multiple years. Mark was almost out of high school when the show started. So he's 17, 18 years old. So you're going to tell me you didn't spend in excess of 17 or 18 years with this person and you didn't see anything? He behaved like a regular person every second of every minute of every day for 18 plus years, maybe 20 years. I don't believe that. I flat out don't believe that. And I got more info for you guys as well, okay? Because I'm not going to stop on this one. I'm not going to stop on this one. I don't see how you guys dismiss other people's lives when the family has the first responsibility, okay? Now, everyday people can save lives by recognizing patterns. You guys were asking why. So this is going directly to you asking me, how is she supposed to know? Recognize patterns. Trust your discomfort. Document incidents and concerns. Talk to other people. Speak up. Speak up. Compare notes. What are you doing? Set some boundaries. Get help if you need it. If she's a victim, what we ask for victims, if you're in an abusive relationship, all we as the community can do to help you is when you let us know. If you don't let us know, we can't help, right? We all want to stop a woman from getting abused by a man, or a man getting abused by a woman. We don't want anybody getting abused, a child. And so in order to help them, you have to step up and say something. Otherwise, we can't help you. So that's all we're asking. And the cost of Debbie's silence, the cost of silence, when you choose to ignore danger, or you're like, I can't say anything. Well, you can say I didn't see anything, but more victims pile up, more traumas, more families get destroyed. The community will never be the same. We've lost lots of infrastructure. Children are unsafe. The general trust in our society is gone, and lives are shattered because you couldn't look at your husband and notice anything about his patterns. For 20 years, you didn't see one thing about this person. Not one thing, or did you do anything about it? And here's the thing. This is where it really brings it all together for you guys. The responsibility comes from your proximity. Proximity creates duty. Access creates responsibility. You don't need 100% certainty to act on serious concerns. You don't have to be perfect, and I'm not asking her to be perfect. I'm asking her to be vigilant. And if you're closest to the danger, if the people closest to the danger fail, society suffers. She didn't die. Her kids didn't die, right? A bunch of other people's kids died. A bunch of other people's children died. Hundreds of people lost their lives. Hundreds of people lost people that were close to them because she couldn't do any of the things that we require normal people to do. Just normal people. You don't need to be a detective. You need to care. Your awareness of the situation can be someone else's survival. And when it's that important, I'm going to ask that you be diligent about those things. You want to be the one who sees. You want to be the one who speaks. You want to be the reason someone gets to live that day. And Debbie Grayson was none of those things. She was incapable of the most basic human traits that we need for our civilization to thrive. She was incapable of that. She was incapable of looking at a murderer every single day and recognizing anything wrong with him, because her comfort was more valuable. So if everybody lives like Debbie Grayson, I'm going to show you this guy again. We can look at what we'll be left with, right? If everyone acts like this, we get BTK, we get Dahmer, and this is what we get in real life. In real life, your inability to look at people around you and assess them properly means that other people die. So if you're comfortable with that, keep being mad at me about it. Keep being mad at me for asking other people to be vigilant enough to protect you and all the people that you love. That's what I'm asking. So if you have a problem with that, keep yapping, and I'll keep on talking about how insane you guys are for excusing this woman's complete negligency in this situation here. But thank you for stopping again. Thank you for stopping in. As always, leave your comments, which I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say now. I'm super